Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session. January 1st is 2020, inviting all of us with fresh energy, fresh hopes. So, Xono, Kausar, Maran, and Abhi Dattar, many more who are all online. Nagredi, good morning. In fact, it is good afternoon. So, now I'm going to take a very short session, a little evening coffee break, half an hour. I'm going to take a little longer session in the night. So, I thought I just want to trickle you how you're all doing after a hard night party of December 31st. And are you back on the wheels towards the upcoming exam? So let's make the great beginning. Bhargava and many more who are all online. Now, doctor, yesterday I gave you all a big shock. Odorless stool typically is a feature of bacillary dysentery is what you need to remember. If you differentiate amoebic from that of bacillary dysentery, Nagredi is giving an update. MTCP is changed to NTEP, National Tuberculosis Elimination Program. Acha. Very good, very good. Yes. Yeah. Good, Sandeep. Good, Sandeep. I could not fully catch up your comment, but yeah. So, doctor, amoebic dysentery has a very few pus cells. Macrophages are also few, unlike bacillary dysentery. Eosinophils, charcut-laden crystals, pycnotic bodies, these are the classical things in the stool if it is amoebic dysentery. They are not that characteristic of bacillary dysentery is what you need to remember. Ghost cells are typical feature in the stool in case of bacillary dysentery. Trophozoites of Entamoeba histolytica can be seen. Very good. Now the TB is targeted to be eliminated by 2025. A little ambitious program, because in India still when you go to rural India, HIV and TB are very strong things. Mainly to bring compliance to therapy is a big challenge. So now bacteria in case of bacillary dysentery obviously will be, even though it is bacillary dysentery, it will be scanty. Shigella is a non-motile bacteria, that's the reason it can be seen in the stool. Growth on McConkey agar, pure growth of Shigella can be seen in case of bacillary dysentery. So you all know charcut-laden crystals are those hexagonal bipyramidal structures formed from the breakdown of the eosinophils in parasitic diseases. Then pycnotic bodies are all those nuclear remnant of tissue cells and leukocytes, especially found in amoebiasis. Ghost cells which are seen in bacillary dysentery, not in amoebiasis. They are the enlarged epithelial cells with only cytoplasmic outline without nucleus. Only a cytoplasmic outline, no nucleus. Nucleus is not there. Ghost cells are a feature of bacillary dysentery. Now, doctor, Ammaji is asking, sir, yesterday in exam, asthma induction, answer is given as propofol. See, propofol and ketamine. Is ketamine also there? Because ketamine is also known to be a strong bronchodilator. Now, the main opener of eustachian tube, which muscle? Tensor veli palatini. इसके पहले भी हमने डिस्कस किया डॉक्टर. All the muscles associated with soft palate, what is their innervation? What is their mechanism? We have to be very, very sure. So tensor veli palatini, nerve supply is nerve to medial pterygoid. Bilaterally it tenses the anterior portion of the soft palate, flattens its arch, it separates nasopharynx and oropharynx, and it opens the eustachian tube, unilaterally deviates the soft palate laterally. So they are the functions of tensor veli palatini is what you need to remember. So doctor, this is your eustachian tube. This muscle is called levator veli palatini, and here the tensor veli palatini, whenever it contracts, so it will open the eustachian tube. This is what you need to remember. This is palatopharyngeus muscle. This is musculus uvulae muscle. This is the palatine tonsil, and this is the palatoglossal muscle. इसके पहले भी हम बहुत बार इसके बारे में डिस्कस किए थे. Most common amino acid found in collagen. Glycine सबसे छोटा amino acid है. वो कहीं भी जाके बैठ के अपने काम कर लेगा. So that is the reason every third amino acid happens to be the glycine, which is the most common amino acid. Which bond is not broken during denaturation of protein? Denaturation of the nation of the protein affects the secondary structure, tertiary structure. It does not affect the primary structure. So that means peptide bond is not broken by denaturation is what you need to understand. Carbonic anhydrase में होता है zinc. Which molecule typically is important for the formation of the ammonia in the brain? Come on, glutamine. Earlier also we discussed this. How do you dispose ammonia from the body? Ammonia is very toxic. If it is brain and kidney, glutamine. Urea in liver, alanine. Alanine is the way to capture the ammonia formed in the skeletal muscles. This is what you need to remember in the tomorrow's exam. Whenever hyperammonemia is there in liver failure cases, why do people go into encephalopathy? Why should they go into encephalopathy? Because glutamate combines with ammonia to form glutamine, which is not toxic. So whenever hyperammonemia is there in the brain, continuously glutamate is consumed in order to form the glutamine. But from where is the glutamate coming from? It is coming from alpha ketoglutarate. Alpha ketoglutarate is the part of your citric acid cycle. More and more the ammonia in the brain, more and more the glutamate is consumed, more and more the alpha ketoglutarate is consumed. So it is no more available for the citric acid cycle. Citric acid cycle chalana band ho jata. If the citric acid cycle is being blocked, then बहुत दिक्कत होता है. You can't use the energy. Glucose become pyruvate now. So pyruvate need to be circulated in the citric acid cycle. अगर citric acid cycle बंद हो गया तो pyruvate cannot be used, glucose cannot be used, glycolysis cannot happen. That is the reason everything gets disturbed. That is the reason hyperammonemia lead to encephalopathy is what you should understand. Pyruvate is formed from which amino acid? मैं कल भी बोला, आज भी बोल रहा हूं, अध्यक्ष महोदय. One question on the amino acid मरने के बाद उसके आत्मा कहाँ जाएगा? Examiner will ask you this question. You have to be 100% sure in the tomorrow's exam. Typically, alanine, glycine, cysteine, serine, उनके आत्मा वो मरने के बाद pyruvic acid में enter होता है उसका carbon skeleton. After all, what is amino acid? There is one carbon skeleton. Attached to that, you have one amino group and one carboxy group. So, all amino acids undergo deamination. They lose their NH3 and their carbon skeletons will enter into one of the component of the citric acid cycle. So, isoleucine, leucine, tryptophan go to acetyl-CoA. Aspartic acid, asparagine will go to oxaloacetic acid. Tyrosine, phenylalanine, aspartic acid will go to fumaric acid. Isoleucine, methionine, threonine, valine, they all go to sargenyl-CoA. Glutamic acid, glutamine, histidine, proline, arginine will go to ketoglutaric acid. That is how the creation is. Whereas leucine, lysine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, they enter into acetyl-CoA and then go and they form the acetyl-CoA. That is the reason leucine and lysine are called ketogenic, because acetyl-CoA is a ketone body, is what you need to remember. So pyruvate to alanine. So typically glutamate plus pyruvate will be giving rise to alanine and alpha ketoglutarate. That is what you need to remember, the fate of alanine. What is this appearance? Cazel's necklace, which typically occur with a niacin deficiency, pellagra. Once more, in the list I have given to you, doctor, if you look at the top 50 topics in biochemistry, top 10 topics ले लो, top 10 topics ले लो, vitamins is the second or third or sometimes first topic. जरा FMGE question bank में that will be third or fourth. All India के last 15 years का questions को analyze करें तो biochemistry में it is in the first position in the list. एम्स का लास्ट 15 इयर्स लेके उसको क्लासिफाई करके एनालाइज करें तो इट विल कम इन मे बी थर्ड और सेकंड पोजीशन. बट ओवरऑल टॉप 10 जो होता है ना डॉक्टर, वो जरूर पढ़ना चाहिए. गॉट इट? सो विटामिन, 1 क्वेश्चन, 2 क्वेश्चंस, इन फैक्ट 3 to 4 क्वेश्चंस कम ऑन ओनली विटामिन्स, राइट? हाँ, यू रिमेंबर ना डॉक्टर, in MBBS, how do we pass pathology? First 6 chapters. Cell injury, neoplasia, inflammation, genetics. First 6 chapters, general pathology पढ़े तो 50% of the question paper is general pathology only. I know how we pass the exams. Passing exams is very easy, provided you are smart enough. Dr. Singh is asking, sorry to bother. No, please bother us. We enjoy being bothered. It is not a botheration. So please call Doctor. 9000 868 356 is our helpline number. Anytime, anywhere, you can call, you can WhatsApp, and you can request for that 953 topic list of Dr. Murali Bharadwaj. which comes up with analysis of the last 15 years of the 6 question banks. AIMS, All India, PGA, JIPMER, DNB, FMGE, right? So every question we label which topic it belongs, brought all questions belonging to the same topic to one place and arranged the topics in the descending order of priority, debated and discussed. Examiner will follow the same pattern, right? Now, gluconeogenesis is inhibited by insulin. You all know how is the regulation of gluconeogenesis. Once more, top 10 topics in biochemistry out of the 50 topics I gave you, you have the gluconeogenesis, glycolysis, citric acid cycle, beta oxidation of fatty acids. They're all, it won't take more than 10-15 minutes for you to do a revision of the video on each of these topics in the onlinembbs.com video library. So, doctor, typically glucose enters after the meal. That become glucose 6-phosphate, right? Now, the insulin dephosphorylates the phosphofructokinase 2 and that will inhibit the gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is what you need to remember. So glucose enters after the meal. Once glucose enters into the body, you don't need to life is good is saying, sir, good rank आने के बाद I will fund online MBBS. You do only one thing. Life is good after you get the seat, no? Money, we have abundance of money. Luckily, with the God's grace. You try to become a mentor in our online MBBS WhatsApp group. Contribute questions. Nice cases you will be seeing every day in the hospital. Keep contributing that. That is more than money. Right, doc? So, that is the deal between us. I'll be waiting for a good news from you immediately after entrance is over. In fact, some of the wonderful students, Dr. Vamshidhar, like our life is good. Our Vamshidhar is a cardiothoracic surgeon, one of my favorite students. Dr. Gautam is a student. He's also another cardiothoracic surgeon. He taught a lot of surgery videos in the onlinembbs.com. I used to never pay them. If you look at so many commercial apps and all that, they pay around 30,000, 40,000 per hour to the lecture, to the teachers. I don't pay them. I don't pay my successful students who become my teachers. Because they all enjoyed learning and they need to continue the legacy of contributing to the students. That is what we should all work together, doctor, for many years to come. Even if the original founder may not have energy, but may not exist, but still the legacy of senior who is successful, passing that helping hand to the junior should go on and go on, right? So now, doctor, complex 4, once more, electron transport to chain is the favorite topic of the examiner. Please don't forget. All the dirty list. Where is FADH2 entering? Where is NADH entering? Chemi-osmotic theory of Mitchell. Everything you should be ready, doctor. So complex 1 in the inner mitochondrial membrane typically barbiturates inhibit it. Complex 4, cyanide is an inhibitor. So ये लिस्ट जरा बट्टी मारो मेरे प्यारे भारतवासियों. Complex 1 is NADH coenzyme Q reductase. Once more, electron transport chain. कल के NEETPG exam also it is a sure shot आने वाला topic है. अब मंडे बोलेगा मुझे, अरे सर इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ गया. So pyridine, emitol, rotenone, they are all inhibitors of complex 1. Complex 3 होता है cytochrome C reductase. Antimycin A is the one which is the inhibitor. And complex 4, cytochrome oxidase, which is inhibited by cyanide ion and carbon monoxide. ATP synthase, oligomycin, ADP translocase, atractyloside is the amino acid not there in DNA structure, uracil, which is there in RNA only. A baby is having complaint with diarrhea, vomiting after having milk. Which enzyme deficiency can lead to this? Galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase. It is a classical story of galactosemia. One more. Top 20 topics in biochemistry. So the dietary lactose is digested into glucose and galactose and absorbed into intestine. Galactose is taken by the RBC, phosphorylated into galactose 1-phosphate by galactokinase. Galactose 1-phosphate is converted to glucose 1-phosphate by epimerization of UDP glucose to UDP galactose. So galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase GALT is the enzyme which is involved. So galactose 1-phosphate plus UDP glucose become UDP galactose plus glucose 1-phosphate. Glucose 1-phosphate proceeds to glycolysis. So UDP galactose is recycled back to UDP glucose by GALE. GALE is uridyl diphosphate galactose 4 epimerase. Barabar? So GALT deficiency is most severe form. Classic galactosemia होता है GALT deficiency. GALT deficiency is minor form. GALE deficiency very rare. So GALT deficiency is classic galactosemia. Which glucosaminoglycan is found in synovial fluid? Typically hyaluronic acid. Bhaiya, GAGs are classified into sulfate-free GAGs, sulfate-containing GAGs. So hyaluronic acid is sulfate-free GAG. Chondroitin sulfate, dermaton, keraton, heparin, heparon, they are all sulfate-containing GAGs is what you need to remember. Now, chondroitin sulfate. What does it contain? D-glucuronic acid plus galactosamine. The most abundant GAG in the body. What is your answer? Chondroitin sulfate. D-glucuronic acid and N-acetyl galactosamine 4-sulfate. The chondroitin sulfate is prevalent in bone, cartilage, tendons, and the compressibility of the cartilage in the weight-bearing areas, like your knee joint. It is the hyaluronic acid which is responsible, is what you need to remember. Now, hyaluronic acid, it is sulfate-free GAG. It has D-glucuronic acid and glucosamine is equal to hyaluronic acid. So the ground substance of all the synovial fluid of the joints, आंखों में क्या है? Vitreous humor. That is also hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronidase is an enzyme which breaks the beta-1,4 linkages, and it is present in high concentration in testis, seminal fluid, in certain snake venom. Oh my God, snake venom and seminal fluid have something in common, that is hyaluronidase enzyme. Now, what is the function of hyaluronic acid? It is a shock absorbent. Shock absorbent, it is a lubricant, and it acts as a sieve in extracellular matrix. It permits cell migration, is what you need to understand. Then one, two comments on dermaton sulfate. Dermaton sulfate. It contains L-hyaluronic acid and glucosamine. It is present in skin, cardiac valves, tendon, and it is also present in sclera of the eye. Heparin, आप सबको तो मालूम है. Glucuronic acid plus glucosamine. It is the only intracellular GAG is heparin inside the cell. It is anticoagulant. It is also found in the granules of the mast cells that line the arteries of the lung, liver, kidney and spleen. And heparin helps to release the enzyme heparin sensitive lipoprotein lipase. And it helps to clear the lipidemia that occur after fatty meal. That's the reason heparin is also called clearing factor. Kyun? Because it will release the lipoprotein lipase and clears the lipid out of your plasma, is what you need to remember. Heparan sulfate. It is similar to heparin, but it is some amino acids carry acetyl group, इसलिए वो heparan हो गया. It is the extracellular GAG present in the basement membrane, and it is a ubiquitous component of cell surface. मतलब आप lower organisms में देखो, अमीबा में देखो, कहीं भी देखो, जहां भी सेल मेम्ब्रेन है उसमें हेपरान सल्फेट आपको मिलेगा. केराटन सल्फेट, it is the only GAG with no uronic acid. It contains D-galactose and glucosamine. It is also found in cornea and tendon. Keratin sulfate, 1 is in cornea, 2 is in skeletal muscle, and all our corneal transparency. It is a single liner MCQ in ophthalmology. What is it because of, doctor? Keratin sulfate. Then proteoglycan. It has a hyaluronic acid, keratin sulfate, chondroitin sulfate. This is how a proteoglycan looks like. Khattam. One more question on GAG. 2 questions on GAG in foreign medical graduate exam. So sometimes what happens is out of 300 questions now, 10% question fancy questions पूछता है. कोई एग्जामिनर उनके बायोकेमिस्ट्री दिनों में गैग टॉपिक के ऊपर फेल हो गया एमबीबीएस में, तो वो गैग वाला क्वेश्चन ज्यादा दे देता. सो वैसा आउटलियर्स इन एनी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, your NEETPG entrance or FMGE is like a normal distribution curve. Even a normal distribution curve has got outliers. 2.5% this side, 2.5% that side, right? So outliers. So you should be very much sure while answering in a negative marks exam, भैया ये outlier है क्या? ये फेल हुआ प्रोफेसर का साइकोटिक सैडिस्टिक क्वेश्चन है क्या? जरा देख लेना. अगर सैडिस्टिक क्वेश्चन है तो डोंट टच इट. क्यों? by touching, by getting seduced to answer that, but 1/4 of the mark चले गया. कभी भी नहीं सुने तो छोड़ देना. Lot of times students ask a question, sir, what kind of question we should leave so that we don't fall prey of the negative marking. आप जिंदगी में कभी भी नहीं सुना तो छोड़ देना. Then superstitiously you are doing reasoning to answer that question. Please don't do that, right? Because examiner purposefully will creep 10% questions outliers. So GAG which has anticoagulant property होता है heparon sulfate. Vitamin B1 activity, how do you monitor? Transketolase, erythrocyte transketolase activity. It is thiamine dependent. ये तो simplest question. Even newborn baby also will answer this correctly. Which GLUT is found in skeletal muscle? Whatever. Just few days back only we were thinking, no, GLUT के बिना paper नहीं होगा. So all GLUTs you must be ready, doctor. One more time, बार बोलो, हजार बार बोलो. GLUT1, most cells have GLUT1. It helps in basal glucose uptake. GLUT2, liver, beta cells, hypothalamus. It is the carrier for glucose and fructose in liver and intestine. GLUT3, neurons, placenta, testis and brain. It is also basal glucose uptake. GLUT4, very important. Muscle में, skeletal muscle में, cardiac muscle में, fat में, GLUT4 होता. GLUT4 sensitive to insulin. You have to be very sure. Right? GLUT4 sensitive to insulin. GLUT5. It is on the mucosal surface of small intestine, sperm and kidneys. It is involved in fructose metabolism. Fructose metabolism is GLUT5. बराबर? एक जम गया ना माइंड में? हाँ, that's good. Another 1 week store करो. Entrance होने के बाद भूल जाओ. Right? Now, urea is the end product of, come on, examiner sometimes ऐसा trickle भी करता. Right? Protein metabolism. You're not thinking carbohydrate metabolism, right? Huh. Which type of necrosis in brain? Come on, examiner. Jara will make you smile a bit. Will make you feel comfortable. इसलिए ऐसे questions देते. But one thing is sure, doctor, necrosis is the top 20 topics. Apoptosis is top 20 topics in pathology. Without that, there is no question paper. You have to be 100% sure. Then inheritance pattern. Autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, mitochondrial inheritance, X-linked recessive, X-linked dominant, X-linked dominant, X-linked dominant. Oh my God, are there any X-linked dominant? Yes, sir. Vitamin D resistant rickets, which is called phosphate diabetes, is X-linked dominant. उनका pedigree based question on one of the inheritance pattern अगर नहीं है तो कल के नीट पीजी एग्जाम में मेरा नाम मुरली भरद्वाज नहीं है. मैं उतना कॉन्फिडेंस से आपको याद दिला रहा हूं. गगन कुबेर rightly says Alport syndrome also is X-linked dominant. Very good. So autosomal recessive inheritance is shown by sickle cell anemia. One more question on inheritance pattern. बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे FMGE examiner. Good boy. Right? Very predictable. Von Willebrand disease. So how will you remember what are all autosomal dominant? Simple thing. Any structural protein deficiency is autosomal dominant. Rate limiting enzyme deficiency is equal to autosomal recessive. Mama ki beti, that is mummy's brother's daughter, मर्दलू को शादी किया तो consanguinity is important for autosomal recessive. That's what you need to remember. And von Willebrand pseudohypoparathyroidism, myotonic dystrophic, osteogenesis imperfecta, Marfan, intermittent, porphyria, neurofibromatosis, achondroplasia, Noonan's, tuberculosis, hypercholesterolemia is also autosomal dominant. Hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, Huntington's disease, they're all autosomal dominant. Autosomal dominant disorders typically will show increasing severity as the generation comes down, especially conditions like Huntington's disease, where trinucleotide repeat disorders, they will show phenomenon of anticipation. ग्रैंडपा को माइल्ड है, पप्पा को मॉडरेट है, मुझे सीवियर है. That is called phenomenon of anticipation is what you need to remember. So if you look at the von Willebrand disease, doctor, we have type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 1 is most common, autosomal dominant. Normal von Willebrand factor in structure and function, but decreased quantity in production. That is type 1. Type 2. It is also autosomal dominant, but it is abnormal in structure and also function. Type 3, autosomal recessive, very severe, most severe form. It is almost undetectable amount of von Willebrand factor hota hai type 3 is what you should remember. Acute stage में immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin G chronically, गंगा बहती है, immunoglobulin G crosses the placenta. One question on immunoglobulin, one question on complement. Without that, there is no entrance exam. Microbiology में top 20 topics. Please run through the list in this 3-4 days. Which ion is involved in cell injury? Calcium. Once more, reversible, irreversible cell injury changes. Very high yield topic in the exam. अभी आ गया outlier question. तेरा examiner का fantasy question है ये. Microfilaria seen in the tail tip, which with the bright pink sheath on Jimsa. Where do you see? Bruggeya malayi. Arre baap. Already mosquitoes में, which will lie down and put eggs, which will stand and put eggs, which will be floating in water. All that entomology पढ़ के थक गए हम. ऊपर से ये भी. Doctor, when you look through the microscope, right? Short head space, tail enucleate tail, Eukaryaria bankruptcy. Vicararia bankruptcy को दिमाग नहीं है, पागल है वो. Short head space. The tail is nucleate and present in the tip. Two possibilities. One is loba, other is Brugia. But Brugia will have short head, long head is there for Brugia. Then Brugia में Timori, Malay, the sheath is bright pink in case of Malay, sheath is colorless in Timori. Then typically if the microfilaria is small size and sheath is never present, then it can be Manzanella is what you need to understand. Very good. Gagan says Malai bole to cream and tip. Arre wah. Bankrupt, no money, no nucleus. Oppa. Gagan Kuber, love you baby. Yeah. So that is the whole beauty of online MBBS. We have a lot of classmates every day meeting up for a couple of hours of live online discussion. हमको ह्यूमर टिकलिंग निमोनिक्स देने के लिए बहुत मिलते हैं हमारे कॉन्ग्रीगेशन में. दैट इज द होल आइडिया ऑफ इट. If somebody teaches us, we can't follow. If a classmate के साथ पढ़ाई करे तो उनके लिए भी दिक्कत है, हमारे लिए भी दिक्कत है. He will find some way to get out of the troubled waters. Always a peer-to-peer learning is more powerful than learning from seer. सीर बोले तो टीचर और मेंटर, मेंटर को ऊपर से ट्यूशन फी भी देना पड़ता, पीर को तो चाय पिलाए तो काफी है, राइट? हाँ, दैट्स गुड. सो वन चिल्ड बीर ऑर्डर करो गगन कुबेर के लिए ऑन द हाउस. नाउ PDGF, platelet derived growth factor B mutation, where do we see? Astrocytoma. One question on tumor markers definitely आएगा. Typically, a low-grade astrocytoma become anaplastic astrocytoma, but once P10 mutation is there, it becomes glioblastoma multiforme is what you need to remember. What is the most common mediastinal tumor? Another very standard biscuit question, thymoma. So once more, doctor. If you look at the compartment, antero-superior compartment ka tumors are more likely to be malignant. If you look at the mediastinal division, antero-superior mein thymoma most common, middle mediastinum mein lymphoma most common, posterior mediastinum mein neurogenic tumors are most common is what you need to remember. Now, what is the type of cardiomyopathy in alcoholic patients? Dilated cardiomyopathy. और एक बार डॉक्टर दिल लगा के देखो लिस्ट को. Dilated cardiomyopathy can be genetic, alcohol, cocaine, amphetamine, chemotherapy, Chagas disease, HIV, Lyme's disease, etc., etc. Then hypertrophic cardiomyopathy can be autosomal dominant. Then restrictive cardiomyopathy is what you see in hemochromatosis, Fabry's disease. It can be amyloidosis, sarcoidosis, can lead to development of restrictive cardiomyopathy. Now, earliest feature of diabetic nephropathy kya hota? Microalbuminuria. You are, as a MD general medicine, some of you, by Monday, a majority of you will be on an elated mood. Wow. Getting yourself ready to burn all this entrance stuff and then freshly get ready to join the post-graduation. Wahi mood mein rehna, doctor. Next 4 days, let me tell you, you are going to make it. Now, MCV is less than 80. MCHC less than 30. What type of anemia? It is a microcytic hypochromic anemia. So normochromic, normocytic means normal MCHC, normal MCV. Anemia of chronic disease, hemolytic anemias, acute hemorrhage mein anemia, aplastic anemia, normocytic, normochromic. What is hypochromic? Microcytic, low MCHC, low MCV, iron deficiency, thalassemia, anemia of chronic disease, sideroblastic anemia, etc., etc. Then normochromic, macrocytic means normal MCHC, high MCV, typically seen in vitamin B12 deficiency and folate deficiency is what you have to be very sure about. A patient has macrocytic RBCs. What is the cause? Come on, easiest question in the planet. Megaloblastic anemia. Always remember, vitamin B12 deficiency, folate deficiency, they are all what? Megaloblastic, macrocytic. But macrocytic, non-megaloblastic, 3 reasons. Liver disease, hypothyroidism, alcohol, they are responsible for non-megaloblastic but macrocytic anemia is what you need to remember. This is another biscuit question. Short stature, white spaced nipples, primary amenorrhea. Come on. Newborn baby also will answer. Turner syndrome. A patient has edema, proteinuria, nephrotic syndrome. Where do you see hypercalcemia? So examiner name. So what is the important resolution? Once more, NEETPG में definitely आने वाले question क्या है? हाइपर हाइपो गर्मा गर्म पड़ना सोडियम पोटेशियम कैल्शियम मैग्नीशियम एंड फॉस्फेट hyperphosphatemia hypophosphatemia hypercalcemia hypocalcemia hypermagnesemia hypomagnesemia पूरा causes ECG findings you have to get ready. At least 2 questions will come on this electrolyte hyper hypo. That is what you have to be prepared for. So hypercalcemia acute pancreatitis में hypo रहता hyper नहीं रहता. So what are the causes of hypercalcemia? Chimpanzees. C. Calcium supplementation, hyperparathyroidism, iatrogenic immobilization, multiple myeloma, milk alkali, medication like lithium, parathyroid hyperplasia and adenoma, alcohol can lead to hypercalcemia, neoplasms like breast cancer, lung cancer is what you need to remember. Then what are the causes of hypocalcemia? Hypoparathyroidism, vitamin D deficiency, hypomagnesemia, hungry bone syndrome, infusion of phosphate, even pancreatitis also. So any low PTH, hypocalcemia can exist with high PTH or low PTH, both the things are possible. Hypocalcemia mein. Low PTH is very common situation, parathyroid agenesis, parathyroid destruction, reduced parathyroid function. That is the reason hypomagnesemia mein, why do you get hypocalcemia? Because hypomagnesemia will reduce the parathyroid function. That lead to development of hypocalcemia. Then what are all the hypocalcemia conditions associated with high PTH levels? High PTH levels. Vitamin D deficiency, PTH resistance syndrome, certain drugs like calcium chelators, inhibitors of bone resorption, altered vitamin D metabolism with phenytoin ketoconazole, they are responsible for hypocalcemia with a high PTH level. Generally, high PTH is associated with high calcium, low PTH with low calcium. But there can be scenarios of high PTH with low calcium. This is what examiner is going to ask you in the tomorrow's exam. So, acute pancreatitis, rhabdomyolysis, hungry bone syndrome, osteoblastic mets, in all that also there will be hypocalcemia because calcium got sequestered, but they have high PTH levels. That is what you need to remember, doctor. Now, one more important question. Pancreatitis, what are all the causes? Definitely आने वाला question है, याद रखना. Idiopathic most common causes of pancreatitis. I get smashed is a well-known mnemonic. So, gallstones, ethanol trauma can lead to pancreatitis. Steroids, mumps, autoimmune disorders, scorpion sting, hyperlipidemia, hypercalcemia, high triglycerides, ERCP, and what drugs can lead to pancreatitis? Thiazides, ACE inhibitors can lead to pancreatitis. अम्मा फ्रूसमाइड, इसमें लॉजिक कुछ भी नहीं रहता. याद रखना, बट्टी मरना जाना. Unfortunately, tetracycline also can be a drug-induced cause for the pancreatitis. So, doctor, with that we come to the end of this brief session of 50 minutes. Cup of coffee with Dr. Murali Bharadwaj so that you are not worried. You are not worrying. So, some of the students have asked, sir, next 4 days में पूरा दीपावली खत्म होने के बाद क्या करते हैं डॉक्टर? एक लाइन one across the street we will put small tapake, no, tak 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 tak. It will be bursting for about 1 hour. we will say goodbye to Diwali of that year. Very painfully saying goodbye to Diwali of that year. So some of the students said, sir, एक 10,000 single liners लेके टपाके के जैसे फटाफट रिविजन करो बोल के रिक्वेस्ट किया. That is most high yielding exercise बोल रहे. So my plan originally was FMGE का 2019 में 2 papers, 2018 का 2 papers खत्म करेंगे. Whatever you say, which is the best one? Ultimately, I want to help you. Next 4 days, I am going to spend every minute of my time to be your junior, to help the senior Anna to go to the exam. Right, doctor? Be cheerful, enjoy the game, consolidate your preparation, get ready like a samurai to the battle. That is the goal, right? See you once more in the night. Please keep tuned with this YouTube channel. Bye-bye.